Quick pop quiz. We just got into this anchorage and the depth sounder is showing 4 meters. That's 13 feet. And we were expecting about 20 knots of wind tonight, and also there's current in this place. So I want to put 5-to-1 ratio to be safe. So that's 4 meters times 5, that's 20 meters, 65 feet. And because I want to be really safe, let's put another 10 meters on top of that. That's another 32 feet on top of that, giving us a total of 30 meters or about 100 feet of chain. Will I be fine with this? Well, spoiler alert. If you said yes, no. There's a good chance that I will drag if I let only 98 feet or 100 feet of chain, 30 meters. You see, anchoring is super easy, but it can be very tricky. So today let's talk about the best practices for anchoring, also a little bit about anchors and a few tips and tricks, a few tips and tricks that you can use on your anchor system to make anchoring more comfortable and safer. Let's go! This is Starry Night, a courageous, plucky sailboat who has only one dream: to sail around the world and have lots of adventures. No, not like that. It's around the world, not through it. But not everything was going to plan. Starry Night was abandoned on the heart for 12 full years. But one day, he found us. My name is Paulo, and this is Katerina. And these are our 2 very overactive kids. After a crazy amount of work, Starry Night is once again ready to sail the oceans. So sit back, relax, and join us in this adventure. And we will all find out together where Starry Night will end up next. Why isn't the 100 feet or 30 meters of chain enough in this case, where if we want a 5-to-1 scope? Well, here's the reason. Most sailboats show you the amount of water beneath your keel, but that's not where you calculate your scope from. You have to calculate it from the bow roller. So in our case, and from now on I will speak in meters because that's just how my brain works, but I will put the conversion up in the screen. So in our case, our boat draws 1.8 meters. So you had to add that to the depth that is shown on your depth sounder. Plus, the bow roller sits 1.5 meters above the waterline, so you have to add that as well. And then there's another one, and this is the important one in this case. The tide. We are at low tide right now, and the tide will swing 3 meters today. So at high tide, we'll have 3 more meters over what is showing in our depth instrument. That means you have to add 6.3 meters to the 4 meters that your instrument is showing you. And that gives us a starting point of 10.3 meters, which is a lot different. So now if I want a 5-to-1 scope, I will have to have almost 55 meters of chain out. See, where before I thought I was giving it an extra 10 meters, well, that wasn't enough. So beware when you make the calculations to get a 5-to-1 scope, or 6-to-1 or 4-to-1, whatever you want to do, you have to take into consideration that the displayed depth is not the depth where you start your calculations from. And you have to take in consideration also the tide. So now let's talk a little bit about anchors. Anchors are a little bit like, I don't know, football teams, because everyone likes one type of anchor and you can't say nothing to change their mind. And we are a little bit the same, I guess. We like the Rockne Vulcan anchor, and there's very little anyone can say to change my mind that this is the best anchor that you can buy. However, it doesn't really matter. What matters is whatever anchor you choose to get or whatever anchor you can afford to get, the most important thing is not actually the type of anchor, although it has a big influence, it's the size of the anchor. If you get a shitty anchor that is way oversized for your boat, you will probably be all right. So if you get a good anchor that is properly sized for your boat, you will probably be all right as well. It all depends if you care about weight or not. Obviously, these modern anchors that have been designed to to pivot in place work a lot better than the old CQRs and the old Bruces and all of those. We have used multiple anchors during the years, and we've tried CQR. We had CQR for a long time, and that anchor was particularly frustrating because the holding power was really good until you veered, until the current changed or the wind changed, and the anchor would just not stay engaged and it would not bite the ground unless you gave it a tug. So we dragged an enormous amount of times with the CQR. We tried a Bruce. It's the worst anchor I ever tried. I think people say it works very well in mud. It might. It didn't work well for us. And now we have a Rockna Vulcan, which basically has never dragged on us, but it's twice the size it needed to be for this boat. So there's that. But yeah, get the best anchor you can get, and as oversized as you are willing to get and willing to put up with the weight, because it's just not, it's not as easy as going like, okay, I have a small boat and I'm gonna put a 50 kilogram anchor on it, because then the windlass has to be sized to get all of that anchor up as well. The rod that you use always also makes a lot of difference, because if you have all chain, the catenary action, which is the angle at which the chain goes into the water because of its own weight, it's much higher than if you use length of chain and then the rest of rope. So having all of it chain is better, but it's heavier. We have 120 meters of all chain rod, and it's really, really heavy. The boat is big and it can take it, and we cannot feel the difference between having it and not having it. But there are some boats, especially light boats, that if you have 120 meters of 10 mil chain, that will, you know, put your boat in a weird angle just because of all of the weight in the front. So again, get as heavy as you can, as long as your boat allows it. After you anchored, you should always put a snubber on. The snubber serves two purposes. The first one is to take the load out of the windlass. As you can see, our chain has no load on the windlass. And the second one is to create elasticity, so that you're not jerking on the chain and the noise on the boat it's reduced. Now, the problem with having a long piece of nylon going into the water is that it gets really slimy. So I hate that. So the system that we use, and I think this is a very nice tip, we have two mooring compensators on the line that is our snubber. So those do the elasticity part of the job. They stretch when the anchor is tight, and they, you know, they reduce the sound a lot. And as you can see, it doesn't get to the water. It's always above the water line. So it doesn't get all slimy, and it's always clean. And then in our case, it comes back here. There are two lines and they wrap around the cleats. So it's a very safe connection. There is also at the end of the snubbers, you can see that there is a claw, and that claw is made out of stainless steel, and it holds the anchor in place, so it's easy to put on and remove. Here's another tip that is very useful. I don't know if you can see this, but we are in an anchorage that is actually full of boats. It's nice weather, and it's like one of the first weekends of the month, so everyone came out, everyone was missing being on the water, so it's very busy today. And now, one of the worst things that can happen is that you anchor, and then some other guy comes and he anchors right on top of you. Well, you can avoid that with an anchor buoy. We have an anchor buoy, I'm going to show you now, and it's right here. So, number one, I always know where my anchor is. I know it's right there, and it's actually very close because the wind is not pushing us away from it. You can see the chain is going straight down. And it also prevents people from from anchoring on top of your anchor, which is a good thing. Now, of course, if you have a very tight anchorage, don't take all the space with your buoy, you know. But normally you can do it so that your anchor is in a spot where it won't take more space than it needs to. The other purpose of that anchor buoy is that if for some reason the anchor gets stuck down there on something, or in a cable or whatever it's left down there, the line that goes to the buoy is connected to the other side of the anchor. You can use it to pull it up in reverse. So that's another good thing about having this system. So the buoy is stuck under the anchor. So when the anchor goes over, the buoy just falls off. And then the line is on a Velcro strap, so it just pays out as the chain goes out. Anyway, we could talk about anchors for hours, but those are the tips I got right now. Listen, if you have tips for us that I didn't mention in this video, just put them down in the comments. It helps everyone. And also, if you have any subject you wish to know more about, ask for it in the comments. I'll be happy to do a video if I know what I'm talking about. If I don't ask me about crypto. I know nothing about crypto. Hey, listen, if you got here, you're a hero. Thanks very much for watching. See you next time.